So as I've mentioned a couple of times, not all merges are fast forward merges. I'm going to show you an example of that in this video. So imagine you're working, you're on a team, 2 people, and you have your master branch on a project, and then you create your own branch to fix a bug or try some experiment out or whatever it is. And you're working over there for a few hours, and then you're happy with it, and you want to merge it back into the master branch. But then you realize, hey, somebody's already done some work on the master branch. My teammate, my partner, has done work since I created my branch. So there's a commit over here, or maybe 10 commits, that I don't have on my branch, on bug fix, but it is on master. So when I try and merge, it's no longer a fast forward. If I just try and take these 2 bug fix branch commits, it's not a matter of just having master catch up. Now there's new information that I don't have on bug fix, and there's information on bug fix that master does not have. So to make this merge happen, it's not terribly complicated or anything. We use the exact same commands, but Git may not be able to do it automatically for us. It depends on the particulars of our commits and if there's conflicting information. For example, what happens if on the master branch, my partner edited line 59 of a file, and on the bug fix branch, I edited the same line to be something else? Which one wins when there's a conflict? Well, that's something we're going to address in the next video. For now, I'm going to show you an example where we don't arrive at a conflict, and instead Git is able to make the merge for us automatically. So what happens in these scenarios when it's not a fast forward merge? Something called a merge commit is generated. Basically, Git just makes a commit for us on the branch that we're merging into, the recipient branch. It makes a new commit for us, and it will prompt us to include a message. And one thing I'll just call your attention to really quickly is that this new merge commit is the first commit we've seen that actually has 2 different parent commits. Remember, every commit has a parent. So if we take this commit here, it has 1 parent. This one has 1 parent. This one has this parent and this parent from bug fix. So commits can have multiple parents, and in fact they do. Whenever we make a merge commit, I just want to point that out really quickly. This is something that will come up later on. Anyway, for now, let's try making a merge commit. So I'll show you this. However, with our road trip playlist, as great as this repo is, there's quite a few branches going on, and it's kind of difficult to just visually show you with all this other clutter. So what I'm going to do is just duplicate some of what we've done. I'm just going to make a new repo really quickly. So I'm going to back out of here. I'll call it playlist take 2. I'll cd into that, make sure I'm not in a repo, I'll initialize, and then I'm going to make a single file on my master branch. I'm going to call this songs.txt, and I'm going to open this up in my editor. Okay, so here's that file. I'll add a new commit here, git add songs.txt, git commit, add songs file. All right, so I'm just going to quickly add 2 songs in here. Okay, I added 2 songs by ABBA again. I've opened this repo in Git Kraken, so you can see master branch has exactly 1 commit, add songs file. Now, I'll make my commit in here just to show you. Again, I can do it visually. I click stage for that file instead of git add, and then add to ABBA songs. Okay, commit changes to 1 file. I'm on the master branch. Great. So I'm now going to branch off from this master branch, and I'll make a branch called ABBA. Sure, it's going to include more ABBA songs. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll do it from here, git branch ABBA, and then I can switch to it, git switch to ABBA. Okay, so I'll add another couple ABBA songs. I'll make a commit on this branch. All right, so I'll do Mamma Mia by ABBA, and then I'll stage that file, and then add Mamma Mia, and I'll do 1 more commit. What's another song? I guess Dancing Queen, ABBA. And I'll do the same thing. Definitely do not need to do this with the GUI, but I'm just trying to show it in 2 different ways. So add Mamma Mia. Okay, so now we have, 2 commits on master branch and 2 commits in addition that are only on the ABBA branch. So if I were to merge right now, it would just be a fast forward. If I merged the ABBA changes into master, master just catches up. But I'm going to go back to master and do some more work. So this is the same idea that I showed here where, what if I'm working on a branch and then a coworker does a new commit on master in the meantime? So let's do that. Let's add a completely new file to master. Remember, I said we can run into conflicts, which complicate things. I'm going to show that in the next video. So that's why I'm going to do it in a separate file. I'm going to make a new commit. Maybe instead of just songs, I also want a playlist for podcasts. So I'm going to make a podcasts file on the master branch. So podcasts.txt. Okay, so now I have this new file, and I'll make a commit just to commemorate that. I'll do it this time from the command line. So git add podcasts.txt, git commit, add podcasts file. So back in Git Kraken, we see now master has this new commit that ABBA does not know about. ABBA knows about these 4 commits, the 2 ABBA commits plus the 2 prior on master, but now master has a new commit. And so merging is going to be slightly different. It's not a fast forward as we've discussed. I am just going to add 1 commit to master, maybe one more. Let's go to the podcast file and add something to the podcast file. How about some good podcasts? I like one called The Lead, a sports podcast. Radiolab, obvious. Well, I shouldn't say obviously, but a lot of people know that one. This American Life. We'll just stop there. Okay, 3 podcasts, and I'll add the podcast file and commit. Add 3 podcasts. Okay, so now on master we have 2 commits that ABBA doesn't know about, and on ABBA we have 2 commits that master doesn't know about. So I'm going to do the merge just like before. I'm going to merge the ABBA branch onto master. I shouldn't say just like before because we haven't had an ABBA branch, but I'm just going to do the same process where I go to master, I'll switch to master, and then I'll merge the ABBA branch into master. So this is what it looks like right now. Just keep your eye on this and remember, right? We split off to make ABBA, and then I kept going on the master branch and I added the podcast file. So now I'm on the master branch, right? Just double check. And I'm going to merge ABBA. So git merge ABBA. Did I capitalize the branch name? Yes, I did. Okay, there we are. Git merge ABBA. Oh, and take a look at this. It opened up my editor because I've set my default text editor in Git to be VS Code, and it's waiting for me to close that file. Just like when I make a commit, if I don't use the -m flag, it opens up VS Code. And so this tells us we have a new commit. Remember I talked about this idea of a merge commit being made for us? That's exactly what's going on. Git made a commit for me, and it suggested a message, merge branch ABBA. I can add other stuff in here if I want to. Usually I just leave this alone because you're just merging the branch, and that's pretty self-explanatory. But we could edit this commit message. All we need to do is close. So if you did configure your editor, just close out, and that will make our new commit. There we are. It says merge made by the recursive strategy. We'll learn more about that you can in an appendix, a bit where I talk about how Git works. Totally optional though. Let's take a look over here in Git Kraken. What do we see now? Well, this line is new. See that right there? And a new commit right there that says merge branch ABBA. So I can also view this with git log. I'm on master. We can see I have the original master commits, and then I have the commits from our ABBA branch. By the way, I screwed up. You probably saw this before me. I gave them the same commit message, add Mamma Mia, even though one of them was actually adding Dancing Queen, and the other was adding Mamma Mia. Anyway, we have those 2, and I have my commits from the master branch, add podcast file, add 3 podcasts, and then I have this merge commit that Git made for me, and I just left the default message. So that's an example of a non-fast forward merge where things were still automatically merged. I just had to provide a message. There was no conflicting changes. There was no problems that arose. For example, I wasn't changing 2 things in the same file. Git was able to figure out, just merge in that new stuff into the actual songs file, this ABBA stuff, and keep the podcast changes that are on the master branch already. So that's one example of a merge commit. In the next video, I'll talk about what happens when there is a conflict and how we resolve that.